Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We have featured quite a few game rigging cheaters in the videos that I've been putting out approximately once a week for the past couple of months, thanks to you guys sending me more and more replays where you're noticing this happening in game. Let me tell you what this video is going to be about. I am going to offer a solution to stop this game rigging cheating just like that. I'm going to give WarGaming the solution of how to do it easily. All right, and also I'm going to ask some questions and call out some people. Let's watch this replay that's sent in here by Rahus from the Irwin clan, and we are in the countdown here. He is what is he playing here? He's playing his Renegade, and he has a very powerful tier 10 platoon on his team. He has an Object 277, an ST2, a TVP 5051. The enemy team also has a very powerful tier 10 platoon, a T110E5, an STB1, and a Chieftain reward tank. Which team has the most powerful tier 10 platoon? Well, you guys watch the game and let me talk a little bit here. Let me first ask some questions and call some people out. Number one, WarGaming, why have you said nothing and act as if there's no problem and there's no, simply not acknowledging at all that there's any issue with game rigging cheating? Haven't heard anything from WarGaming. Zero. Number two, all the other content providers, there's dozens of them. I know some other providers may be interested in producing other content, and what they do is their business. But nobody calling it out, nobody talking about it, no one even mum's the word, right? How come? No one even admitting that there is even an inkling of a problem here, but I get hundreds of replays sent from you guys. And I'm a small channel. You know, I'm not one of the biggest channels. I don't get as many emails as some of the bigger channels, and you know who they are. So I could make a game rigging cheating video every day, featuring one every day, with the amount of emails and games that you guys are sending me. So first of all, why is no one talking about it? Why does no one want to admit that it's even a problem? And WarGaming, why are you not even admitting it's a problem? Okay, that's besides the point. Let me offer a solution, okay? Since no one's talking about it, I'm the only guy that's bringing it forward. Like, are you guys only care about yourselves? Or does no one else care about the community, the World of Tanks community, the regular schmoes, the players that are playing this game that aren't cheating, that have their games destroyed? Okay, let me not work myself into a rant here. How do we fix it? First of all, yes, it does exist. I've got hundreds of examples now, and I've been putting videos out every week. Usually, some of the common ingredients that I've learned from watching your videos is it's typically high tier 10 usually. It's almost always done with platoons. Okay, it's almost always done with one platoon on one team, one platoon on the enemy team. There's one tank that's going to do really well, that's going to farm a platoon on the enemy team. It's usually a boosting company where platoons are trying to drop into the same game, enabling whatever tank they select to complete missions or work on getting their third marks or being boosted. They advertise in game. Okay, I've got hundreds of emails from you guys sending me screenshots of cheating, rigging companies, boosting companies, advertising in World of Tanks in the garage, advertising their services. Okay, so it is a problem. But typically platoons, and typically it's for people trying. That's number one. Typically done with platoons. Number two, it's typically trying to help people to earn reward tanks that are too hard for them to get on their own. Object 279E, Object 260. People can't complete the missions. They hire a boosting company to help them get the tank. Sometimes it's to get third marks or mark a tank that's very difficult to mark, that they don't have the skill to do themselves. Okay, those are the two main ingredients. So I've read a lot of your comments, and one of the comments is, well, that's easy to fix. these reward tanks like the Chieftain and the Object 279E and these powerful tanks, why not, WarGaming, why not just sell them? Because people are paying money to boosting companies to rig the game to try and get these tanks for them. The Object 279E, Object 260. Why not just sell them? And then WarGaming can make the money instead of the boosting company. Well, I don't like that idea. That would work, but that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea, okay? Because I don't want to give WarGaming extra money and give them an extra excuse to, oh, we're going to sell those reward tanks now because there's boosting companies that are stealing our revenue and ruining the game. It would work, but that's not an elegant solution. Another comment that appears a lot in my videos is, well, why not just ban platoons? Because it's almost always with platoons. It almost never affects tier 1 through 9. It's always tier 10, and when there's platoons, ban platoons. Well, you can't do that because people like to play together with friends. You can't ban platoons. So I don't like that idea either. But I do have an idea that would work. That's kind of a almost, it's related to banning platoons. And it's simple, WarGaming. Okay, this is the solution. What you do, because the game rigging has to happen with the platoon dropping into the same game. Okay, these guys go like this: 3, 2, 1, click, and they try and get into the same game to cheat. All you have to do is create a little program at the beginning of the game that if you're in a platoon and you click battle, click, then there's a little program that puts a little bit of a delay, a random delay of when you enter the queue. So when you go click, let's pick 0 to 30 seconds. There could be randomly anywhere between 0 and a 30-second delay to when you get put in the queue. That would make it impossible for guys to drop into the same game. Simple solution, right? You don't have to worry about this for single players, but for platoons, you've made changes to the matchmaker before, right? You're not allowed to platoon multiple artilleries. You changed that in the matchmaker. You changed the matchmaking for wheeled vehicles. Now the matchmaker puts one wheeled vehicle on either team, so it's not unbalanced. You've made those changes. This is a simple change to the battle button. It doesn't have to affect single players because we don't see that problem. Single players trying to drop in and cheat, it doesn't impact the game that much. But platoons trying to drop in together so they can cheat does affect the game. Did you notice the game rigging cheating that we just witnessed in this game? We'll go through the post-game stats here in a second. Now, WarGaming, if you just put a little program that adds a delay to when you click battle, for people playing in a platoon, in tier 10, you can do it however you want, and you can make that delay anywhere between, like I said, 5 seconds, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Figure it out. You know the statistics of how you can make it almost very unlikely that the platoons that click at the same time enter the same game. That's what you have to figure out mathematically, right? And it will only introduce maybe a 15-second wait or a 20, 25, 30-second wait if you're in a platoon with friends. So if you get 10 platoons and they all click battle at the same time, one platoon gets put in the queue right away. Another platoon gets a 5-second delay. They get put in the queue 5 seconds from now. Another platoon gets a 10-second delay. They get put in the queue 10 seconds from now. 20, 30, randomly distributing slight delay of when they get put in the queue. And those platoons have no chance of ending up in the same game. Problem solved, fixed. Game rigging, cheating, boosting companies out of business. Simple, elegant solution that doesn't change anything. We can still have the really dominating reward tanks that we can try and do the missions for, right? We can still try and get an Object 279E. We can still try and get an Object 260, right? I got the Object 260, but I haven't been able to get the Object 279E. I'm not good enough. But there's some absolute trash players that are running around in Object 279Es now because they had boosting companies cheat for them. We can still have those reward tanks. It doesn't change the game at all. It just adds a slight delay to people playing in platoons. You don't have to ban platoons. You don't have to start selling those tanks. What do you guys think? Leave some comments. Let me know if you think that's a good solution. And you can stop watching now, or do you want to see the rigging that went on here? You look at the post-game stats here, guys, and it's another one of these situations where the tier 10 platoon on his team, Object 277 did 0, TVP T5051 did 0, the ST2 took 1 shot. Okay, that's the platoon on his team. Who was the Object 277 killed by? He was killed by Jojo. Who was the TVP killed by? He was killed by Jojo. What about the ST2? He was killed by Jojo. Who's Jojo? He's the chieftain on the enemy platoon that did 10,000 damage, that had an STB1 and a T110E5 helping him, blocking and getting in the way. Did you notice the STB1 getting in the Renegade's way to try and be the bait to allow the chieftain to farm? Let's watch just a piece of this game at double speed here and concentrate on the minimap, guys, and I'll explain how this game rigging went on. How many people would have noticed that we're playing this game? Some of the people like the Concept 1B, the Sharfa Tour, the LHM TV, the people that went down the 890 line. How many people knew that when this game started, there were 6 players, game rigging, and 5 different accounts simply here to feed 1 tank. 6 tanks involved in game rigging in this. Look at the mini-map here and you'll notice that both platoons all went to E1. You'll notice on the mini-map there, basically both tier 10 platoons went to E1, and what they're doing now is they're just sitting there. The T110E5 and the STB1 are doing nothing. They're allowing the chieftain to completely farm all 3 of those accounts. And the T110E5 and the STB1, once the chieftain finishes farming the feeder platoon that's helping him boost his stats or work on his 3rd mark or basically rig this game, once those guys are taken care of, then they're going to move forward with the chieftain and continue to fight in this battle and try and get in the way and try and distract some of the players on this guy's team from focusing on the chieftain. Let's just quickly watch here. I've got it at double speed. It looks like the platoon has pretty much killed everyone. Let's speed it up here and we'll get to the other spot that we'll show you here. Going full speed, going full speed. Okay, now it's right about here that the chieftain comes around the corner with his T125 and STB1. Now watch what happens here. Okay, he pumps a shot into the chieftain. He pumps a shot into the chieftain. Look at the STB1 here. He's just going to come and get in the way. He's not going to use his DPM to take out this renegade. He's going to try and block the renegade here, right? He doesn't want the renegade to shoot his buddy in the chieftain who's working on his mark. The STB1 is not shooting. The STB1 is not shooting. He's just getting in the way, trying to stop him from shooting the chieftain. And just being, he's a backup, right? He's in this game to help this chieftain cheat, basically. And you might watch this and say, well, that doesn't actually prove that there was cheating. That doesn't actually prove it. It could be that the one platoon is just really bad and the other platoon is really good. And you are correct. It does not prove it. Let's add another layer of information that makes it a little bit more plausible. Look at the Object 277 here. His name is Le G11R203. Le G11R 2003. In-game name, when you look into the replay file, you'll see that the real name of this player was Marco5253. Marco5253 is a garbage account that was created in 2011 and somewhere along the way was discarded or bought or obtained by some boosting company, and now basically for the past 1,000 battles has WN8 of 1. The last 100 battles, WN8 of 0. This is just a garbage account that's used in to feed in game rigging. The TVP member of the platoon is Bogdanovic, which is an anonymized name. Bogdanovic, real name is Luka Ratnik. Luka Ratnik is also another old account that's somehow fallen off the rails. It has, in its past 1,000 battles, 0 WN8. This is another account that's just used to feed cheaters. Okay, it's just another garbage account. Who was Jojo in the Chieftain? Jojo349 is also anonymized. We look at the replay file here and we find out that Jojo was a man who thought he was a unicom, but he was just a cheater. And his real name is Ghost4712. Ghost4712 is a fairly good player who has an overall WN8 of about 2,000. Okay, about 2,000. But in his past 100 battles, has skyrocketed up to 3,604 WN8. You look at the statistics and they don't lie. This player has been pretty consistently between 2,000 and 3,000 WN8, hovering around 2,500. He had one spike here of one game of 4,700 WN8. It was a very good game, but typically staying around 2,500. And then boom, at the end here, he jumps up to almost 4,000 WN8 for 222 battles. Trying to 3-mark the Chieftain, are you? So does this prove that this particular game was rigged or not? No, you know, this is circumstantial evidence. But this is the type of thing that we see all the time now. How many times do you see platoons doing 0 on your team or the enemy team? WarGaming, how can there be players that play 1,000 games and do 0? 0 for 1,000 games. Those are obviously just cheating, rigging, boosting accounts that all they do in this game is destroy the game. And there's hundreds of them. How can you not have an algorithm that just detects accounts that do 0 over and over and over again at tier 10? How are those accounts, how can they stay in the game as viable accounts and keep playing and playing? The only reason they're in the game is to destroy the game. How many players on this team knew when they pressed battle that this game, out of 30 players, had 6 cheaters in it? How many players after they finished the game even noticed that there was game rigging going on in this game? Are you comfortable with players doing 10,000 damage and raising the bar for marking the Chieftain? Basically just cheating. Is that okay if that just goes on? You'll just play your own game and ignore it? I don't know. There's some questions there, guys. You guys leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And remember, in this video, we've featured what is, I think, 99% sure that this is game rigging, cheating, another example. But I've proposed a solution that I think is an elegant, easy solution for wargaming. And that's just the slight delay, a random delay to when a platoon enters the battle queue. Once they press battle, that will solve this. That will put game rigging companies out of business. That's my solution. Let me know what you guys think about it. And what about everyone else? All the other content providers who've said nothing. I know nothing. I see nothing. I say nothing for this whole time. Maybe they don't feel comfortable talking about it, and that's fine. Okay, everyone can do whatever content they want. But wargaming, why nothing from you? Someone from WarGaming, leave a comment in this video and tell me why. Either tell me that this is not a problem, and everyone that's sending me replays and the hundreds and hundreds of examples that I have are just we don't know what's going on, or tell me why my idea of the delay is it's impossible. It'll take 4 or 5 years for us to develop the technology to do that. Or tell me in the comments that, yeah, that's a good idea and we take this seriously and we're going to think about doing that. That would solve the problem, Mr. Kellerman. Maybe we'll put it in the test server and see how it plays out. Let me know what you guys think. Support the channel. Help the channel grow if you appreciate what I'm doing. No one else is doing it. And I'm the black sheep of the family now, right? I've got my neck out like that. I'm the guy that's exposing this stuff. Who's going to get his pee-pee slapped? Me, right? You're not going to get a Klaus Kellerman commander. Why? Because, the black sheep doesn't get the grass or whatever. So all I can do is ask you guys for your support. Please subscribe to the channel. Keep helping the channel grow. And I'm going to keep exposing it. If they don't do something about it and they don't fix it, I'm going to keep exposing it, okay? In wargaming, you can fix this easily. I've told you how you can fix it. I know it'll work. It's simple. Fix it.